Hey guys, so today I'm going to make a video about weird things about living in the UK. Not really weird, it's just different as an American being in the UK. There's just some differences that I'm not really used to, so I'm gonna talk about those. Number one, to me it's so weird and specific. I remember the first time I ever came here, I noticed it like immediately. There's no seat covers in public toilets. In America, you can go to almost any bathroom, restroom, toilet, and there will be seat covers for you to use. But here, it's just not a thing. Like, I know there have been studies that have been done showing it's not really that effective, but it just gives me like a peace of mind, whereas here, they just don't have it, and it's just not a thing. I say this very lightly because like, I know it's not actually bad, but it's like, it like kind of grosses me out, like I don't know. Number two, this is such a stereotype, but there are so many pubs here. You can walk down the street and like pass 3 on the way to the end. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't know how they stay open because there's so many. Because it must be such a saturated market. I don't know how any of them make enough money to keep running, but they do, and they're everywhere. Number 3, so we have this in America, but not to the extent that it is here. And that is restaurants and businesses just in houses. They're houses that have been converted, so it's not weird, it's just the abundance of it that's weird, not the actual thing. It's restaurants and businesses inside of just houses and like neighborhoods. Like, you could just be walking within your neighborhood and it'll be like normal houses, people living there, cars, and then a restaurant. And then normal houses, people living there, cars, like it's just so in the middle. It looks like a house from the outside, besides from the sign saying like restaurant. Or there will be a dentist's office or a yoga studio, like in a house or in an apartment building. Like, they're just in the middle of a neighborhood. There's no separation. Like in America, you can sometimes see that on the outskirts of towns because it's been converted, but here it's just in the middle. Like, I walked by a school that had bought one of the houses a few houses away, so it was like school, few houses, a house that clearly said the school's name, and then some more houses, and you could tell other houses were just residential, so it was very weird seeing the divide. Number 4, I'm not sure if everyone that comes to the UK or vice versa or anywhere in the world really experiences this, but crossing the street takes a lot of focus and attention, and I'm scared to do it because in America I can predict traffic. I know what way the cars go, I know how they turn, like I know just how they work, whereas in the UK, everything is opposite, which seems like a simple thing, just, oh, flip it around in your mind, but it doesn't work that way, and I get confused, and sometimes there are turn-offs, and I don't know what way the cars are coming in or out of, and it's just very confusing. I'm getting used to it now, crossing the street, but when I first got here, I couldn't really do it without someone next to me because I was, like, terrified. Oh, and I don't mean on crosswalks. Those are very self-explanatory. I mean just like walking across a street if there's no crosswalks. Number 5 is interesting, and I don't really know how to categorize this other than bread products, which sounds weird, but there are 2 that I want to mention. One is tortillas. Mexican food, I think, is my favorite cuisine of food. It is amazing, and I love it, and I miss it so much because I don't really have it here. But also, they don't really have tortillas. They call them tortilla wraps, and they are essentially tortillas, but they're like very westernized, overproduced, and processed tortillas. So they're the tortillas that you'll find in the store with like a bunch of ingredients, or half of them are filler, which is fine. Like, I have nothing against that if that's what you like, but I just like simple tortillas. Like, I just want the basic tortilla, not wraps. Like, I went and bought corn tortillas because I wanted corn tortillas. And I was like, weird texture, taste a little different, but that's fine. And when I was almost done with the pack, I actually read the ingredients, and the only corn in it was corn flour, which, if you don't know, was just cornstarch. They called it a corn tortilla because it had cornstarch in it. Anyway, that's my tortilla rant. Next is hot dog buns, which is also very weird. But in America, or at least where I grew up, in California, when you get a hot dog, the bun is cut like this. So when you bake in the oven, the bottom's here, the top is here, and you cut it in the side and put all your things in. Whereas in the UK, they cut it down the top, not the center. Like, if we cut it Here, they just cut it straight down, which is weird to me, but apparently the opposite is weird for them. One time, my boyfriend was making us food or something, and he was making hot dogs, and I came into the kitchen to help him or eat or do something, and I started laughing because I thought he was joking because he cut it down the middle. So I started laughing, and I was just saying, like, what is this? Are you joking? But then he started laughing, thinking I was joking about that. So we were genuinely confused and shocked that we cut hot dog buns the other way, which is such a random thing for us to both be so passionate about. Next, going along with Mexican food, this is kind of Mexican food in general, but two specific things really just get to me, and that is sour cream and salsa. They don't have sour cream in the UK. I've looked, like, I've been to stores, I've looked it up online, like, they just don't have sour cream here. I know some people could be like, yeah, they do, they have this. What they have isn't sour cream. It's called soured cream. It's shelf stable, it's in the pantry section, and one of the main ingredients is cream cheese. That's not sour cream. And because sour cream normally isn't a thing here, they're obviously not going to have any other version of it, like vegan sour cream or lactose-free sour cream or any other version like they do in America. So I have to make my own sour cream out of creme fraiche, which is also new to me, and it's like not the same, but it's the only thing that I can do. And the second part to this, other than all Mexican food, is salsa. Their jarred salsa is like jarred salsa. Like, it's not great, it's jarred salsa, but their fresh salsa that they sell on like grocery store shelves, in America, I could buy that, some chips, like, I'm good. Like, that is so good. It's so amazing, so fresh. Like, same with the Mexican restaurant, those are better. But like, I can go get it and just eat it. Whereas the fresh salsa here is gross. I'm sorry. It's like sweet and like tomatoey and like nothing else. I don't know how they do it. Like, I read the ingredients and I'm like, pretty good ingredients, but like, it doesn't taste good, and I always have to make my own, which is like completely fine. But like, I want it quick or I want it authentic, but I at least want it to taste good, and here I just can't do that. Number 8, I'm gonna go over really quickly because it kind of goes back to another one I mentioned, but the amount of schools here is just, why? There's so many. In America, you'll find anywhere from like 2 to 5, depending how big the town is, maybe more or even less. Here, you will find schools everywhere. And I'm not talking about universities or colleges or anything like that, because I get it, London has a lot of colleges. I lived in San Francisco, it has a lot of colleges or universities. But the amount of like lower schools, primary, secondary, or whatever, there's so many. Within this neighborhood that I'm in, I can walk to like 5, and that's like within walking distance, and I know that there are more. They are everywhere. Number 9, this one normally is weird, but it gets to me sometimes. Things close early. Things here close so early, especially on Sundays. On Sundays, things close at like anywhere from like 4 to 5. And I can't get anything on Sundays. In America, at least where I lived, it's kind of like common, like, oh, you go grocery shopping, start off the week with food, like that's when you do it. Or you have school or work the next day and you remember you need something, so you go out to the store real quick. Here, Sundays, you just can't really shop unless you get up super early. But like, other than that, you just can't. Also, things just close early here in general. There are laws about it, so if the store is under a certain size, it could stay open. So other than a very few exceptions, stores here close so early. There are a few 24-hour stores, but there's only a few. And to get to them, you either have to conveniently live by them, or you really have to go out of your way to get to them. And number 10 is also 2 things, but I'm going to group it into one, and I'm going to call it mustard, which is very weird. But they don't have mustard in their sandwiches unless it's like a very specific sandwich, where in America, I think any savory sandwich you have, you could put mustard in it. I was talking to my boyfriend, and we were talking about like Subway or something, and he was like, what would you get? Like, oh, maybe this and this and this and mustard. And he was like, mustard and that? And I was like, and I don't know, that's just like normal in America. Like, if you want a sandwich, put mustard in it. Whereas here, I guess it's weird to just put mustard in sandwiches unless it's like specific sandwiches that require mustard. Another one, continuing with mustard, is English mustard. Is just, I get that they grew up with it or something, so they're used to it, but as an American, English mustard is so bad. No, it's so bad. The first time I had it, I was having like a Sunday lunch, but it was like a roast. I don't know. Someone was like, do you want this? And it was mustard. And I was like, I mean, that's kind of weird to put on this, but like, I'll try it. And I couldn't. It was so bad. I don't know how they eat it. So mustard, that's a weird one to end on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed whatever this was. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye.